So you started in the financial world in what year?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2002,
Hmm.
and right out of high school, I got a job at Washington Mutual. So I started off there, worked my way up, and then uh, after I think 4 years, they laid off the department and they moved everybody to Texas. I want to say Amarillo,
Hmm.
and I just ended up staying and getting an opportunity to work at AIG. So yeah, from 2007 to like 2012, I was working at AIG. So like when I first started there, it was great, money's coming in, everybody's like doing great. They're giving us like American Express gift checks to like open new accounts. Money's just pouring in. And then, September comes in 2008 and literally everything just got wiped out instantly. So that was a shock, man. Like being there and one day everything's great and then the next day it's like, do we have jobs? Do we have, you know, like customers calling like, where's my money?
Mm.
And we're the insurance company. So we're like we insured everybody, all the banks and all of them are going under or merging. And it was just like a crazy like week. And then we end up getting bailed out because we were gonna go under by the government. And then the next thing you know, there's like reporters and like protesters outside because the way the media was portraying it was like, oh, you know, pretty much the government is using taxpayer money to give out bail out these banks and corporations, which was crazy. And I'm just a worker there, and I'm not I don't know like the detail until now,
Mm.
afterwards, but we all did a Sunday morning quarterback, but it was like, being just an employee and like doing all of the things that you thought were normal, and then realizing like there was some major scandals going on, and pretty much how a bunch of people just made out with millions of dollars and like had these golden parachutes. It was messed up because after that, like friends were like jumping off the building, like people, it was crazy.
This was 2008, right? This is when
2008.
the recession hit,
Right.
and you were still doing art. And you were doing it on the side for some friends, so some side work, but your main revenue was coming in through the bank job.
Right. Yeah. No, I was like always drawing every day. I always did it, but my full-time gig was yeah, working at AIG.
So then you decided to leave for vacation, right? Your buddy was in Brazil.
Yeah, he was in Brazil,
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, these,
it's all good.
how do I turn that off? Because I mean I get so much text messages. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, my buddy, he was in the finance world with me, and I always admired him because he kind of gave it all up cold
Mhm.
turkey and went back to school. He went to art school. He went to the art center. And I was like, that's ballsy because that's like $200,000 just to go to school. And so I was like, all right, well, props to you. He went, graduated, and then he moved to New York, and then he went to Brazil. And he was out there living there and he was just enjoying it. And I'm just looking at all of these pictures on Instagram, and he's like, you got to come out here. It's freaking dope. So I've never been outside the country. And I was like, well, shit sucks here. So I might as well. And I just got on a plane, got a visa, and showed up. He was there at the airport. And then he was like, all right, bro, I got to go work. So he just left me. And I had to figure out everything there.
Yeah. So you were taking 2 weeks off, I believe, right? Your job, and then you did you take another 2 weeks off?
So the first trip, it was just 2 weeks, and that went by quick. But I went back to my job and I was asking them, hey, I want to go back. Can I get like 2 months or a month? and they're like, the most we could give you is 2 months or 2 weeks at a time. But I was like, well, I have the time. And they're like, sorry, it's just policy. So that's when I was like reassessing, like, oh, this sucks, like pretty much stuck in this job, and they pretty much control what I can do with my life. And I just felt some type of way about it. So I asked for the 2 weeks, and I just didn't come back for like 3 months.
You came
Yeah.
back, returned to your job, and things were normal?
No, it was, well, I thought I was gonna get fired
Yeah.
because I was gone for so long. I'll never forget it. I get into the elevator, my badge still works. I pull up to my desk, it's all dusty. There's like, a million voice messages, a million emails. I'm just going through my stuff, waiting for them to come with the box, like the office space, and just be like, all right, you're out. And nothing happened. Nobody said anything. And I just thought that was the weirdest thing ever. But I just went back, and then about 3 weeks later, they announced that they're gonna lay off the department.
Mm.
So it was like, hey, we're gonna give you a severance, and you know, unemployment and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, well, I'm gonna go back to Brazil. This is perfect, like I'm tired of this place anywhere. So I went back and everything went wrong, and I got stuck out there, and I ended up backpacking all over South America. And it was just like really like a, a life-changing event for me. Like I really just started to figure out like what I wanted to do, who I was as a person, and what made me happy. Because I felt like I was kind of like a slave to money in the US.
Because you kind of probably fell in love with the salary, right? The salary kind of like stuck you in
Right.
and made you feel somewhat comfortable. But you've got this gig where you can do art. You're obviously extremely talented. When did you get that first big hit? When did you think that art can actually make this for you to put bread on your table and live comfortably?
Well, I had no idea about the art world. So the way I found out about it was Instagram, and by seeing, you know, where art shows were, just seeing following other artists who were making it, like Gregory Sif or Retina. And I was just like, wow, what's this place they're showing at? And I would go to the event and I would meet them. And then I would see like the art being priced at like $2,500. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot. That's crazy. People actually buy this stuff for that much? I had no idea. And so I just kept showing up, and was doing my stuff at home, like making my work. And Instagram really was the tool that like changed my life, because I was just drawing my friends and people I knew. And then the next thing you know, everybody was like, yo, can you draw me? Can you draw me? And I was like, well, this reminds me of high school, where I used to just draw the prettiest girl, and she would like then talk to me and stuff. I was like, well, this is the same thing. Let me draw Rihanna. I drew her, tagged her, and this is when hashtags were new. And somehow she found it, followed me, and then after that, I got a lot of attention. A lot of people started following me, and that gave me the confidence to be like, well, I know she likes it, so I just need to figure out a way to sell it now.
Did Rihanna eventually buy that piece?
Not that piece, but she has a piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
You ever have those Titanic moments where you're like drawing some naked girl on?
Oh yeah, all the
Yeah.
time.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, that's like part of the art life. That's part of being an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just comes with the territory. It's like rock star life. But
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I jump around, country to country. In the beginning, I was broke, but I'm in France, and I'm in the museums, and there's like a bunch of ballerinas, and they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm an artist. There's something like about that fantasy,
Hmm. Hmm.
like this guy is just a rebel of society. Like he doesn't, because it's true. It's like being an artist, you really get to learn the good, the bad, and the ugly of how things work, and then you just are supposed to like express what you see into like the artwork, and hopefully it lasts long enough to the next generation can kind of like get the story.
Well, that too, and with you being an artist and every artist, when you look at a woman's body, it's not like you're looking at it in a way where you want to attack her. You're looking at it like it's an actual art piece, right? Like she's standing like a beautiful art piece to you, and she knows that you're not going to do something stupid or crazy. So, I think that part of it too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's beauty. Like people
Hmm.
love beautiful stuff. So, working figurative, that's just always, like when I'm drawing, I just what I see,
Hmm.
and it's just putting it, or sometimes exaggerating, just being creative. It depends on the situation.
You've done some street art stuff. You've done, I think, a lot of street art stuff, and I think you were in Brazil where you would just kind of take over a wall, and most of the time it was during the day, right? Because people thought that the owner of the wall told you to do what you were doing, and it's another part of the reason and how you got recognized as well, right?
Yeah, doing street art is like marketing, pretty much. Coca-Cola sign on the billboard, it's street art to me. It kind of like gets your attention, and it's an interaction with the people. So it's the fastest way to get a response to your work too. So like when I was putting them out there, it was fun because I wanted people to interact with them. And most of the time I would just do it in the day, just act like you were getting paid to do it, and
Hmm.
putting it up, nobody thinks anything's wrong because you're obviously doing it in the day. Now, if you're like running around acting scared, they're gonna think that you're doing something, fishy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of stuff would you draw when you were in situations like that? Just how you were feeling that day, or was it an event that you thought about, or?
I've always just done people, so fashion based stuff, just since the beginning, and it was always just like the most interesting thing to me is people, and like people now are brands. Like everybody has a personal brand, so putting this artwork out there was like I was making brands of people. Just showing it like where we're at in society, kind of like based on who the person was, you have like this perceived um notation that you know who they are.
Um, Chris Brown. How did you get in touch with Chris Brown, or how did he get in touch with you?
um well, Instagram was how he first found me, and then we end up having a show together and our artwork was showing right next to each other, and he just came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I really like your work, I've been following you." I was like, "Yeah, man, bro, we should do something." So we ended up collaborating and painting a few pieces together. We did this huge, like, just street art. Like we were just doing it for fun, and then we ended up making a piece for like my first show. But yeah, he's really talented and cool guy.
Stan Lee's another guy that you looked up to, right? And you got an amazing story with Stan Lee. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Stan Lee, comic books, it was probably the reason why I drew as a child. Like I always looked at the artwork and the stories, of course, and Stanley was the guy who kind of created this whole universe, and I just always admired it. And then I was able to to work with him because a friend let me know that his daughter was like my work and wanted to do collaboration on like a T-shirt. So we ended up doing it for Comic Con, and I got to meet him. I got to go to his house, and like watch the Dodgers in the World Series with him. So that was pretty surreal. And we're just signing, shirts and stuff, and just hanging out in his kitchen.
Nice guy, right? Joyful, kind of
Oh yeah,
jokey,
he's
good
he's
personality. Yeah.
great personality. He's witty. He has a like a like a comedy. He's very funny. Like I was like, man, such an honor, meeting you. He's like, I hear that all the time. Geez, if I had a dime for every time I heard that. Yes, but he's a great guy. You know he led the way and he gave me some good information.
um, yeah, a guy you looked up to. So that had to have been a surreal moment for you, being in this guy's house and then watching the Dodger game and collaborating with him. That's crazy. You were in Japan, and that was during COVID. That's when I found you. That's when I bought my piece from you. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit later. Um, Japan is like one of the cleanest places ever, right? Including the people. You can probably eat off the ground in Japan, right?
Yeah, Japan is a just wonderful place. It's just everything is so organized. Everything is top quality, and the people are just super nice. So it's one of my favorite places in the world. I got to spend the whole year there and learn a little Japanese and just be able to travel from all the way from Okinawa all the way to Hokkaido and everywhere in between. So yeah, it's a great place, and I would love to live there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And the sushi is the best you've ever had?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Anything compares to it out here?
No.
Nothing.
It's
Zero. There's
different,
nothing you've
different,
had.
different style.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just like our fish is it's it's not as fresh as theirs.
Mm.
So I mean they have a you know different style too. Like it's not rolls. It's all just straight rice or gohan and the fish.
So sashimi or sushi?
Hmm.
No rolls. Tell me about art, man. What does it do to you? Like when you were a kid and you found out that this is what you love to do, and this was something that you were passionate about. What is it about art that drives you?
I mean, art is always been a part of my life, so I feel like it's a major part of my identity. So I've always kind of used it to kind of interact with other people. You know, um, I'm kind of soft spoken, so but making an image or creating an image is just an easier way for me to
Mm.
communicate with people. And it's just been my language that I've always used to either say something or just to surround myself with cool people.
Express yourself through art.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Shit,
mean,
man. That's pretty cool.
yeah, I mean it's great because I've always been into like culture and like history. So I always liked the older paintings, but I didn't get you know the pop art, but now I do the pop art. So I kind of understand it now. It's really just like you can judge an era by its artists. And we always remember the artists, but we don't remember like the rich people or the bankers or anybody during those that this like we know about Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. We know about all of the artworks that have survived, but it's something that holds value.
Hmm. Let's check the piece out that you did. This I've got some art, but it's all artists. I apologize because this is my
Oh,
number one right
nice.
here. Nothing comes close to this. Dude, this piece
So
is
LA.
so freaking gorgeous. And these are three guys that I grew up listening to. And to just do something different, I've got a couple Stephen Hollands of Chick and Vin that actually sit right here, but and the one from Vin is signed. The but that's a piece that nobody else can either do, or if they do, it would be a copy of you. And man, it is gorgeous. I look at it every morning, and I thank you for doing it. This is actually the second one that you've made, but it's one of one because the cargo pants on Chick
Hmm.
are green, and the one that you did for somebody else is a different color. And then we changed his shoes as well, so that's super sick.
Yeah.
So it's for me. Uh, the producer BDB. Tell me about the name. Where'd the nickname come from?
So BDB is just a nickname that I've had since probably like high school. I want to say like freshman year. Everyone used to just call me Big Daddy B, but it just got shortened to BDB, and it just kind of stuck. And when Instagram came out, I was making beats, so the producer just sounded cool, and then it stuck, and it's kind of cool because it can mean music, it can mean film or art or anything. I just produce. So I like it. It just stuck.
Brian, before we let you go, you're coming up with some NFTs, huh?
Yeah, and venturing off into that world. Um, if you follow my Instagram, we're gonna start posting about it and how to be a part of this new exciting media.
That's wild. So, do you have like a base price of some of the stuff that will be an NFT? I'm not real familiar with the NFTs yet, but is there like a base that you can buy something for?
Well, I want to give them away for free,
Hmm.
the first ones, but they are gonna be hard to get. The people who are lucky enough to get them, they can sell them for however much they want
Wow.
and trade them. So we'll see. I think that's the cool thing about this thing is it's really meant to build community, you know, to have people be able to talk to each other and enjoy something together. So I'm more into it about the community aspect of it more than the financial end of it. But you know, it it's just something that's new, and I think whenever there's something that's new, like being an artist, I want to try something that hasn't been done before.
How are you going to decide who you're going to give them to?
Oh, it's gonna be like a raffle probably.
Nice. And what
for,
are you going
for
to draw? What are they going to be? What kind of pieces?
um well, they're I don't want to give away too much.
Mhm.
I would just say follow the Instagram at the producer BDB and
Stay
just keep your
tuned.
eye out. Yeah,
Stay tuned. When should we look out for it?
soon, the
Okay.
next week.
Okay. Wow. Nice. Sweet, dude. Anything else you want to talk about? I think that was awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean the piece. I'm so glad you have it because my very first piece I made, it was about the people that inspired me. So it was like Basquiat, Keith Haring, and Warhol, and I just had it on my wall, and it made me feel good every day because those were like the people I aspired to be like. And then I was like, okay, well, what if I'm an actress in Hollywood? I was in Burbank near the studio, so I was like, oh, Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, and Liz Taylor, and I just started doing them in threes.
Hmm.
And then your piece, it's like, wow, if you want to be in radio or if you want to be in sports casting, those guys are the top. And I was just being for LA. I was gonna do the players, but I was like,
Hmm.
these guys can never switch teams, like
Hmm.
because sometimes a player will like spend the last years of their career on another team, but these guys, you look at them and they just symbolize the franchise. So that was
100%.
cool.
Yeah, Brian, you gave me a good idea though, man. If there's three players that you would do in LA, who would
Mhm.
they be?
Well, for all sports or just one sport
All
particularly?
sports.
All sports. So for basketball, I think it has to be Kobe for LA. For baseball, no, nothing against the Angels, but it's got to be a Dodgers player.
Yeah.
And in my eye, The best Dodger player that symbolizes probably one of the championship teams. So maybe Fernando Venezuela would be
Okay,
cool.
so you're going back. Okay,
And then for the Kings, of course, Wayne Gretzky.
yeah. Oh man, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty dope.
I was gonna say a Dodger would maybe be Kershaw too. I don't know if he's gonna finish his career as a Dodger, but I think he would look so super cool on that.
Yeah.
Kobe for sure, and Gretzky for sure. Even though Gretzky didn't play for the Kings much, but he brought hockey to LA. I mean, there's no
Right.
doubt. And I don't think there's any other king that we can that has that type of stature. But Kershaw,
Yeah.
I think, is the face. But let's just hope he ends his career as a Dodger because, like you're right, if he goes to his hometown in Texas or something, it'll feel a little bit different. But
Yeah.
okay, man. We're with I'm gonna in 4 years we're gonna be talking again. We're gonna put a piece together. Yeah,
Yeah. That'd be that
yeah,
would be a cool piece.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's tough. We got to figure out the baseball one. That one's the hardest.
Yeah,
I think Kobe and Wayne Gretzky is easy.
yeah. I agree. Um,
Yeah, maybe Kirk Gibson. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That
He
was
hit
just
that one.
yeah.
Yeah, he hit that one. He wasn't here very long. Yeah, I mean, you go to Koufax and stuff, but you can't really. I can't. They just tell me how great Koufax was. I can't relate because I didn't experience it.
Mhm.
I want even Valenzuela. I mean, I was a kid. I think we're both kids. We
Yeah,
didn't
we were
really
both
truly
kids.
get it, But like Kershaw, we saw his career as a rookie to the end. So and he won, which is great too. So you could maybe put rings on these guys, even though Gretzky didn't win with the Kings. He should have in '93, but that'd be a cool dude. That yeah, we'll be talking. That would be
Yeah, that'd be great.
that would be sick.
But cool, man. Thanks for
Cool,
having
brother.
me on.
You're welcome, Brian. This was a lot of fun, and we'll put this up in the next.